Assalamu alaikum. Thanks for watching the hotconflict.com video series. Well, we're continuing on this next section. In the last section, we talked about where we were, how we got to where we are, and what the journey was like, and how the story of truth and parts of the unseen world got us to where we are today. Well, we talked about the stories of the prophets all the way to the Prophet Muhammed, and we talked about some of the unseen parts, and now from now on we're going to just have fun, right? Let's just have fun. We'll go from information from today, we'll go to the past, we'll go to the future, well, a little bit into the future, and we'll talk about different wild things. We'll take all kinds of different subjects, and this is the part of the show where from now on you're going to be getting to do a lot more interaction, because the world around us is changing. And as those of us of the light are beginning to speak more openly and disclose various things, the effects and the ripples and the fractals as they spread out across the earth are changing the world. Well, let's go straight into the disclosure. We're going to get into some serious information today, go right into the heart of the matter. Well, in the last section, we had a little introduction, recap, heart, lovey. We all know the basics, right? We are here in a pattern of ascension. The last time we left off was way back in November when we were telling you certain disclosures are getting ready to happen. And today even is part of this disclosure process, as you'll begin to see when we go on. Now, we said that we are in a state where we are looking at the actual truth from the final messenger, Muhammad. And you have in front of you someone who is telling you the story of the ancients from the Prophet Muhammad on what his message truly meant for the first time in the English language to the Western world. That for the first time, the knowledge of the East, my brethren, is coming to the West, and those who have the ability to know how to speak of the light are telling the story. And so today we want to go right back into where we are and talk about what is the state of the field right now, where we are today. Because if you've been following on the story, then you must realize what I was trying to get to you by telling you that you have been activated. That the story of the prophets and the pattern that built is an actual map of archetypal characters. And the connections that I have given you with the unseen world are now enough for you to be able to see how the map is playing out in the world in real time. And we said one of the things we do well, I call myself a map maker, for example, in the new age of Ascension. We're talking about this concept of Ascension, that of course the prophet was gifted with the most noble gift, which is the very recital of the spoken word of your Lord, as spoken by the Lord Most High, brought down from the highest level of the heavens by the archangel Gabriel, and spoken by the Prophet Muhammad to all of us, and then memorized verbatim, word for word, directly from your Lord to Gabriel, to the Prophet, to the companions, and that very same word is that which we recite to you in some of this series. And that same word and that same Quran, the recital of our Lord Most High, the final revelation, not the gospel of Jesus, the word as spoken to him, or the tablets of Moses, the Torah as written by the hand of your Lord, but the Quran, actually the spoken kalam of Allah, the very word, because the final messenger is given the final word. From beginning there was the word, to the end there is the word. But we said the second most miraculous gift to the messenger was that because he was the last messenger, he would have to have the pattern of ascension established in his sunnah, in his way. So early on in his ministry, the Prophet ascends to the highest level of the heavens, 7 heavens, and returns, ascends in physicality, not going through a dualistic situation as we have as understood by the followers of Jesus, who was the last messenger to also ascend. But part of the test of the followers of Jesus is whether they believe in the ascension process before seeing the second coming. We said we're in a state right now where those who are waiting for the second coming are picking a path that is fraught with destruction, while those who are seeking the light are raising their own vibration along with the earth in a pattern of ascension, and they are doing so according to the sunnah, or the methodology as established by the Prophet Muhammed, without dying, without losing their body, oh my Christian brothers and sisters, without the need of resurrection. They are ascending now without losing their physical bodies. They are ascending in physicality. And this is the sunnah, or thing, that the Prophet demonstrated by traveling, time travel, to the Holy House in Jerusalem, again reflecting the unity of the family of faith, Jerusalem still being the direction of sacred geometry, of the prostration and the facing of those who were praying at the time, until the Holy House was returned to the Kaaba, or the lighted Holy House, both higher and lower, Kaaba. And those of you who are searching into concepts like the Markaba and sacred geometry are now getting a little glimpse of what came in the past, but we're not getting into sacred geometry today. We're talking about the concept of ascension, that we have been dealing with ascension, and because now we understand some very basic principles, that on the journey of ascension itself, the Prophet was able to see the various realms and levels, and each of the various prophets or masters for each level of ascension, right? We know that different prophets were on different levels, and we're not going to cover that hadith today, but we have understood, right, that I tell you guys weird, wild stuff. And because you know that I tell you weird, wild stuff, we want to see does this fit within the sunnah? Like we said, that so many people are hearing the truth, even from a Muslim for the first time, that even those who call themselves card-carrying members of Muslim, which in actuality, brothers and sisters in the West, there is no monolithic group called Muslims, even though the Dark has told you we're at war with Islam. Which Muslims? I don't know, all of them. Well, there's not any real monolithic group, and this is important because as we're starting to see duality crumble away, the old structures are falling apart, and even those structures of the Dark that were the strongest and most powerful are starting to lose cohesion because they're not monolithic. They're all based on individuals, and they were using their positions of power through force, and those positions are no longer there. And so the individuals from these other brotherhoods and societies of the Dark are starting to come forward, and we're calling you, brothers and sisters, to the light. But we're saying now that if we understand this, then there have always been structures and hierarchies at the different realms, and there's been prophets to many other planets and people and nations and times, and that the story that we are in is actually quite far at the end, and that much has happened before us, right? This is a weird, wild story. But today we want to go straight into this concept of ascended masters. Now we're saying that the Prophet comes as the final example of ascension for his ummah. And there have been those who have been believing that it is not possible to ascend like the Prophet did. Yet those of us who are now in the field of ascension and teaching the light are telling you that beings of the light have ascended from this earth They've always been ascending from this earth. They've been coming and going. The fact that you didn't know that is an unfortunate truth, but beings of the light have been finding the light and ascending, and there are beings of light at various different realms, humans and all the other species as well. And humans of various kinds, not just those colors that we see, white, brown, yellow, red, orange, black, and so on, of this earth, which happens to be a planet that is extremely diverse, my brothers and sisters. We are saying that we are now here on this planet getting ready for an ascension. And that means something is going on with you. And who are you? And you want to know why. Is it true? Well, the last time we talked about disclosure and beings from other places. And now we're going to talk about ascended masters and this concept to understand, well, if there are beings and other planets and other places, then what the heck is going on out there? What do all those guys believe? Like, I mean, are these like green reptilian monsters coming to suck our brains out? Or is there some kind of hierarchy and structure? And so all of us teaching Ascension are trying to tell you, of course, if you are seeing light and you are seeing patterns and you are seeing synchronicities here in this world, do you think that the rest of the universe is without the perfection of all that is? Are the other realms not part of the perfection of all that is? Is there not structure and order and in a beautiful fashion in all that is from the higher realms? Of course there are. So now you are seeing that, of course, there were going to be masters and people at different levels who may have been from this earth and not from this earth, and people who found the light and sought the light and went either above to the skies or went into the inner earth or went all the way to the center of the earth and then above to the skies. And you're finding out now that people here on this earth are from all kinds of other places. And then there are people who have descended from the skies here. There are people who have come out of the inner earth here. There are people who have been here for a generation. There are people who were just got here just one moment ago, right? Now, before you get uncomfortable, I always tell you, my name's Salim Siddiqui, right? I'm a human. I was born here, right? I didn't come from anywhere else, right? So let's keep everything in perspective and try not to get scared, because we could talk about weird, wild stuff here. But everything we're talking about today is cool and lovey-dovey, right? So let's take it easy. We are going to talk about some serious information, right? We've been dealing with a lot of fluff, so let's go into serious information. Now we're saying, how do we start to understand the hierarchies and the levels of people in the other realms? Well, we're making a bold claim. We are saying, by Allah's name, that we are followers of Muhammad. The Muslims, those of us who are awake, right? I'm not talking about every person, Joe Schmo on the street who says, yeah, I'm a Muslim, and he doesn't know anything about his faith. I'm talking about those who are coming forward, who are saying, yes, we are from the family of light, and we are awake, and we know what that means, and we are teaching Ascension because we can read the pattern so clearly because it's obvious in front of all of us now, is it not? And one of the things I do is just talk about so many things from the patterns that when you see all the connections, it's so obvious that I don't tell you, believe this or follow this or do that. I just tell you the story, and when I finish a section, you're like, wow, that was weird. That was weird. And then later on, after a few days, something happens and you look back and you're like, well, that was really weird, actually. The synchronicities start to connect in, and you start to see that the very final fundamental that we keep reiterating is that there is a plan for all of this, both here and there. And that the difference between being in the light and being in the dark is that those of us in the light are seeing the perfection even here in duality. That we are saying that something happens to you and you start to feel it. And your heart starts to vibrate. And you take a deep breath and you exhale. And you realize your heart's not actually beating faster, but it is vibrating faster. What the frack is going on inside of me? I think I have a soul, right? And you were beginning to realize strange things. Wait, I was told I had a soul, but I could feel it now. And you're starting to notice these changes. And so we're going to go straight into the information on what is the methodology of understanding the next level of what happens on the earth, right? Because we said there are many people out there who are talking about destruction and calamity, and then we go to a soothsayer and he says, oh, I see this prediction, and this is going to happen, and bang bang, and this happens on the island, and wait a second, what timeline are you on, my brother? Right? You could be totally lost, right? You could be totally lost. We don't know what timeline you're on, right? The problem with going to fortune tellers and soothsayers and all these other people is they misguide you from the truth, right? Unless they are those who understand the truth of the light, unless they are those who understand what we would call the Holy Spirit, unless they are those who have received that themselves and understand how it is and then can relate it. And then those types of people don't make predictions about lottery numbers and future destruction of the world. They tell you the more important things about what your soul is and remind you about what's really going on. So let's talk about this concept of ascended masters, and that we are making the boldest of claims is that I am nothing, but I am a follower of Muhammad, Sayyid al-Mursaleen, the master of the masters. And we'll define how this plays out in the map later on. But one of the reasons why that is because he was given the word and because he was taught and gifted with the ascension of the body and the return, and he is the seal of the messengers, which means no new prophet coming with new revelation. The revelation that we have right now is what we use to elucidate and enlighten every community that came before us. That sounds very, very arrogant. No, it is not arrogant to recognize that the truth of every prophet was one and the same, and that every being of light who is on this earth is telling you that that truth was always one and the same, and those who understood that truth always recognized it in each other, and the dark always made every group and community have division. Whether it's the followers of Muhammad or the followers of Jesus or Moses or David or Solomon or every group, all the way back to the two sons of Adam, Cain and Abel. And those of you who have been on our journey know how important it was to see the original conflict between our two brothers. And it has been a long journey that we have taken and a long time to get to where we are. And so the fact that you know that we are now at the time when the world is ascending and the signs of ascension are so numerous that people from every community are speaking up, and all that you see around you in the art and the culture and the movies and the TV and the music and the poetry and the war and the destruction, the chaos and the government and the politics and the financial system, that which sayers and light beings and way showers and rainbow warriors who were of the noblest generation before my generation were speaking about, and they sounded wacko and loony, now is happening in front of us so quickly and so fast that many of us are somewhat amazed of how quickly this is happening. So now let's go straight into this concept. And we want to talk about this concept of understanding the masters and who all the masters are. And so I'm looking straight at this piece of paper, and this, now because we want to go straight into information, sometimes I use other people's movies or scripts or songs or lyrics, or now we're even going to go into what is the message for all these New Age, spiritual enlightenment community. Right? Many times we said, especially the Muslim community, thinks that every other group is all misguided. No, everybody finds the light. And we are now supposed to help them see that which the Prophet showed us so that the light will be shined brighter, right? I call no one to follow. I tell a story, and it makes the truth clearer. It enlightens. A wayshower or a light worker is someone who does that by their actions. So let's go straight into the messages. In the last section, we did a little bit of a recap, and we recited from the Quran and showed that Islam is about oneness. And the concept of Islam is submitting yourself to the will of the Lord Most High in service to others, ignoring any personal desires. And someone who does that is a Muslim. It is not something you earn by birth or right or any other things that even many Muslims might think. Someone who is of the light from the Muslims understands the story that I've been teaching you, just as much as there are many who call themselves Christians and are full of hate. Many Muslims are full of hate for everybody on the earth. They cannot see the light if they're full of hate. It is just a plain fact. And there are those who call themselves Christians and they're full of hate. And we tell them, oh, here is a Muslim telling you the time of Christ consciousness has begun. The rapture of Christ has begun. And I'm your brother who followed the way of the Prophet Muhammed, who says very clearly, we all find the light by following the Messiah. No one goes to the afterlife without acknowledging Jesus the Messiah, right? How do we understand all the beings of light? Who was the master of this world? Who achieved the level of mastery? The master craftsman, the master builder, the master mason. It was none other than Solomon, master of the gold ring, master of this dimension and all the elementals within it. Every prophet had their gift. Joseph, master of the dreams. We went through the stages and understood from physicality what some of these things mean. Now we're going to talk about some of the spiritual concepts. And so I go to a channeling straight to talk to some of the spiritual enlightened community to make them see that you have been misguided about Islam and what it means. And speaking to you is your brother from the family of light. We go to a message from the masters, or the master, one of the masters of the blue ray, El Moria, right? And he says, blessings and divine greetings, exalted ones. I speak to you as El Moria, Kohen of God's blue ray. Now we see we're going to go through some of the strange information from many of the light workers and the channelers. And in another session, we'll talk about channeling as a concept. But today we'll go through just the message and the content and see how do we use Islam and the story that we've already had and the map that I've already given you to now analyze correctly the information and interpret its truth at a level of mastership. Isn't that what we are trying to do from this world, my brothers and sisters? A Kohen of God's blue ray. So we're looking at this wording. Even here in English, they use the word Kohen, or what we might refer to as Kahin in Arabic. Now, in this terminology, sometimes when we translate the word Kohen in, or Chohan, the Hebrew word, in English, it sometimes is translated as sorcerer or wizard or even magician. But in this case, especially for an ascended master, it doesn't have any of those negative implications. It implies understanding the divine essence of a certain vibration or flavor. Now we are saying that in some of our past, we've realized that there are spiritual meanings to everything behind lyrics, behind sound, behind color, behind words, that in everything there is reflection of a certain kind of light, of each unique color and sound and vibration, and all different kinds of miraculous things. And now these things are opening more to us in a spiritual way, and so we're looking at them differently, that there is what we call the blue ray, the divine blue ray, that there are masters who their essence brings out what we call the first ray or the blue ray. So Al-Moria here talks about being a Kohen or a master of the usage or the transmittal, or being a care bearer of the blue ray, right, from our last series. Someone who just pumps out pure blue light, the pure divine essence of light. He says, I come first to commune with those of you who have volunteered to incarnate on the blue ray of cosmic light and as the divine way showers of a new era. So this message was in 2009, right? So not so long ago, September 2009, just from last year. But we're talking about this time period in general, that there are those of us who are here. Now, the term incarnate is the one that freaks people out. The term incarnate, like, what do you mean? Were you did you zap in here? Were you a soul that came from somewhere else? Are you reincarnated? Did you start somewhere else? And we are saying that, yes, there are people who have just walked in. There are people who have just landed. There are people who have just crawled out of the inner earth. There are people who just swam to shore. And there are people who have been born here, who are raised here in duality and trained here in this world and gone through the experiences of life, who are also going to be raised up as masters. There are all kinds of beings here, and you are looking for the indication of them to recognize them. And they are going to be the divine way showers, light workers, way showers, path showers of this new era, this new age. Well, all the spiritual people talk about the new age. And we said, well, is this thing about a new age? Is there a coming new age? Well, we said that we only talked about up till the setting of the sun. But after the setting of the sun comes the darkness, and then, not the end of the world, like we keep trying to reiterate, but a new age. So, way showers to a new age. He then goes on to say, I come to assist you to harness the new potentials that each of you are here to claim and have put forth in the name of oneness to honor the path of the risen Christ within. So again, if you were to just read this without knowing the background of the story, we said it sounds a little wishy, right? I mean, Muslims will be like, the Christ within. This sounds like Christian mumbo jumbo. Here, some of the masters are talking about the light that Christ came with, the Christ consciousness, the Holy Spirit that is established in the realm of duality after the Messiah has come. And we're saying that now I'm getting to teach you this after the Messiah has come and after the final prophet has come. And because of both of those blessings, here's some crazy weird guy who just happens to say he's Muslim, and now he's explaining to you Al-Moria, the ascended master. If all of this, he says, is towards the name of oneness, that you understand the pattern of divine will of your Lord, and that you are submitting to that oneness, and therefore you are upon the path of light. Before long, he goes on to say, your outer world will shift to reflect the internal changes that you have worked so long and hard to achieve. We said the reflection of the outer world is only after you have disclosed the truth of your heart, right? It is about you expressing who you are, and then the truth of the outer world will begin to reflect the vibration that you resonate at, the light that you reflect in your oneness. But these changes are happening all over Earth. Yes, there will be changes that you have long sought after, yet there will also be the changes that each of you came to ground into the Earth's core through the warrior ray of cosmic truth. Cosmic truth, wisdom, and the divine will of God. Now, we've been trying to teach you, here Al-Moria's words are speaking, but we've been teaching you that the warrior ray is the path of cosmic truth, understanding the story, not just of this realm of duality as what's happened in the history from Adam to the Prophet Muhammed and all the messengers, but also of some of the cosmic truths and ramifications in the unseen. You have to have learned those things, and because of those things and your own heart, you should have learned wisdom to apply the situations and how they are applicable in the pattern, therefore giving you the divine will of God, or the understanding to see what the things around you or other people's words even mean, right? Now, those of you who have been on the path with me, when we read a channeled message from Moria, we can understand the deepness of all of the meaning of it, and we can tell when something is correct against the pattern and truth that we have established as a map for ourselves. I have taught you a map and taught you the fundamentals so that anything you ever find, you can measure it against what you already know. And therefore what? You can't ever get lost again, my brothers and sisters. I offer this information, he says, to you solely as a reminder that those beings of the blue ray have a very special role to play on this planet at this time, and that you have come first to set up the positions of leadership that your human society so desperately seeks. We said, I'm about to tell you some of the disclosures about who you are. And I've told you, if you've been listening to this in the past, and if you've followed me enough to know, that now I'm about to remind you of something about your own selves. You're getting activated, brothers and sisters. And so here Moria talks about the fact that it is but a reminder of the heart. It is a reminder that there are those who will speak to you in this way, and you will understand that this is the type of truth you've been waiting to hear. And those masters are all around you now, and they are here. In this, those of you who have realized your role is one of the path-paving pioneers, and the dominion within you is now clear and reflecting that role. If you have come down this path and you know who you are, and you're calling yourself light workers or way showers, you're now seeing for the first time a Muslim talk to you about these spiritual concepts and tell you what they mean. And you, I'm telling you, are preparing to step once more into the great unknown. Our journey is about to get exciting. Here, Master Al-Moria is telling us some interesting stuff. The fluctuating tides that continue to wash over your current planetary affairs are those that have long been proven outworn. And those of you who have contributed to this fading reality are those who are becoming the rising leaders of a new day and a new way, right? We're saying that the old systems, whatever they are no longer working for us. And we see them falling apart in front of us, and we know that many are afraid of the changes, but those of us who have purified our hearts, we see that the destruction of the old systems all over the earth is what is needed before a new dawn arises. Many blessings of virtue will be bestowed upon you, the new physical guides. For indeed the path that offers much required much. Those of you who have wholeheartedly mastered the strength of divine will be replacing the unseen guides that have guided each of you home to this very point on your evolutionary journey. Now here is an important point that I have been trying to stress in some of the journey that we have been through. We have been given various warnings about some of the people who have in previous times channeled messages from various beings, and sometimes they have been of the light and sometimes they have been of the dark. And now we are realizing as a society that many humans on this earth at various times in our past have had interactions with various other races from within the earth and from above the earth, both of the light and of the dark. And sometimes the messages that have come have been truth, and sometimes they have been of the dark. So we must get to a point where this earth, if it is to ascend itself, it is not that beings from within or above come and change your world for you. It has never been that. Disclosure has never been about other worlds. Disclosure has always been about you understanding the truth of the reality that you are in and removing the veil from your own heart, removing the darkness that has stopped you from shining yourself to see that which is the reality that always was the truth. But here our Ascended Master says that these new physical guides will be ones who are here and who have traveled a long journey and gone through a long path to get to the point of understanding the story. Oh, my brothers and sisters, you followed me, yes. Many people couldn't have the patience to follow the tale. Many people let go somewhere around the third or fourth minute and said, this guy's nuts. Yes, it was hard to follow. But the reason why it took long was because so much had to be changed in you. So much had to be changed in us. So many ups and downs and hills and valleys and ebbs and flows of life, my brethren, did we have to go through to get to the point of the awakening that we're talking about. But it is important that those of us who now step forward and speak of the divine plan and of the truth from our hearts, the rest of the people must understand, especially those in the Lightworker community, that it is now your duty to step forward yourself, and that the idea of taking messages from the unseen or following unseen guides is no longer applicable from this point forward. You must follow those who are of the ascension path on this planet, who can interpret for you the reality of time in real time. They must be able to see the truth now and be in the moment now and be in the here and now. This is the height of this journey. You of the blue ray, are those who have come to rescind the ill will of humanity and replace it with the will of the Lord Most High, the glorious and abundant futures for each member of your human society who deem the highest good and a righteous endeavor. See, this is what we are trying to achieve. That world which is purely in the service of others, while all are serving each other because of the love of the oneness, and that each person's light is taken as a gift, that each soul is unique and pure and holy, and that the gifts that each one expresses is profound. And if they are allowed to truly reflect the truth of their heart without the judgment of the world around them, then what might come out could be weird and wild, but oh, so incredible. Yes, there will be those who denounce the path of unity in search of more proof of the way, yet those who have come specifically to replace the man-made will of separation and strife that exists on this planet right now with the will of godly abundance, creation, and hope are those who have come to serve the highest form. In this, know that the masters of the blue ray will become the predominant voice of this new age. All voices will blend into the creation of the one plan in their inherent and signature form. The sign of their divine light and nature will be clear. Meaning what? Everybody who has the truth will know exactly who they are and why they're there and what their job is and what their purpose is. And they will express it in whatever way is uniquely loving for them. You happen to run into Salim and the hotconflict.com website, where you find your brother telling you the strangest story you have ever heard, always and every time. The masters of the blue ray have developed the sacred gift of communication, of speech, discernment, and clarity of the divine will, to the point of mastery. Indeed, you will soon discover that there is good reason for those of you with the roles of divine communication, vocal and otherwise. You will begin to attract the platforms, the mediums, support for much of your needed ventures now that your planet and her people have shifted to an openness and readiness to hear more truth. So what we're saying is this first stage is about a group of people who are ready now to speak the light and talk about the family of light and reveal the truth of what they know and how they learned it through the line, connecting to their fathers and their forefathers and their masters and all the way showers, and speaking how they see the truth in their own way, vocal and otherwise. And because of the world and the technology and the platforms and the way society is structured, the time will come for this openness and this shift that we are seeing all around us. Oh, beloved members of the Blue Ray, you will know yourselves by your name, for your very name will carry the vibration of this ray most succinctly. Examples of archaic vibrational tones in Earth's history are depicted in scriptures and sing-song, just as your own name carries a tonal frequency of harmonics that, when stated out loud, creates the dynamic chords of the color spectrum and resonates at the signature vibration of the color blue. And that's why I tell you always, my name is Salim, son of Shamshad, from the family of Siddiq. I am your brother. Don't you remember me yet? The path of the blue first ray. Ascended Moria goes on to say, in the history of Earth's creation and the evolution of man, the blue ray has had many roles in implementing the divine structures necessary to further expand human consciousness, right? We said we're getting ready to go to a changing time, a change of the soul, a change of the mindset, and that the consciousness is about to awaken. And so that happens how? By the blue ray, the first ray. It is for this reason that Archangel Michael, co-holder of the blue ray, is one of the most widely known and discussed angelic beings in Scripture. Now, are you a believer in the angels yet or not? Oh, angels of the light. Oh, Mikael. Do you believe, oh Muslims, that this is too strange for you? See, my Muslim brothers and sisters, you haven't realized that the truth is being sent to every nation and every people, and they are finding it. There are those who don't know anything about Islam or the Prophet Muhammed, who are lovers of Mikael, the angel of light. And are you not, O Muslims, friends of Mikael? And every one of the beings of light is a friend of the angels. And so I say, Ya Mikael, O angel of light, Assalamu alaikum, by the command of Allah and from the love of Allah and the blue ray, send legions of angels to all those who are listening to this now. Let them take a deep breath and know that they are surrounded by angels of the blue light, angels of the blue ray, sent on the authority of Michael by a master of light who says the name of Allah and says the angels are here to serve, and we believe in them. The scriptures are filled with mentions, and Michael we know from the Quran and the ancient scriptures from the beginning. Al-Moria goes on to say, did you feel that, brothers and sisters? Al-Moria goes on to say, what is important to realize at this pivotal point in human creation is that the blue ray must precede all others in its implementation of the divine will. In the beginning, there was the Word. Have I taught you the importance of the Word yet, my brothers and sisters? Have I taught you that pattern? Have I given you that light? Exemplifies this most profound truth, that in the beginning, Allah, the Lord Most High, said the word, be, and it was. And since then, we have been on a journey, and now we are here. What an amazing time. In the beginning was the Word, exemplifies this truth most profoundly. The blue ray. The blue ray holds the frequency of eternal wisdom and detachment from form, so that new potentials, new levels of consciousness can be attained and eventually formed into physical matter in this real world. For this reason, the blue ray has held the role of warrior, protector of God's will, and for the purposes of furthering human evolution in this magnificent time of planetary shifting into unity consciousness. What this represents for the whole of humanity is the emergence of a new voice. Now, those of you who are Muslim, who understand the terminology of Islam, would call this time or these individuals mujaddids. That every so often masters of the blue ray would come with the ability to communicate to the people in a new way and speak in a fashion that is strange to them, that reminds them of the truth of the light of their hearts, because the darkness had overtaken them. And Allah consistently sends these masters to the earth to remember, and new masters come up and they speak the word. Now, we said we are at an age where there are going to be many of these physical masters speaking the new truth of the divine will, and you will be able to recognize them and how they transmit the blue ray, the spoken word. God's blue ray, Al-Moria continues, is strongly associated with the throat chakra and the energy of truthful creative expression. First, the word is a depiction of the process of the creation of worlds, and now, in this unprecedented time in human history, the incarnated beings of the blue ray will duly manifest the divine word into divine deed. This is the level that we are talking about, where all of a sudden people's words will be able to be manifest at a level of divinity that their gap between intent of the heart and speaking of the word in full submission with the will result in instant manifestation. As we said, all of the prophets of the light had what we would call miracles, but now we would call them instant manifestation of the divine will of the Lord based on the blessed spoken word of all of the masters. They knew what to say at the divine moment, and be, and it was. For this soul group, for this group of souls who are now manifesting on the earth, you will be moving forward with your soul brothers and sisters and positioned at the forefront of humanity, where your voices will be heard. You will be brought to your rightful place as truth-sayers with the recognition and tools needed to spread the word, the will of God, and to inspire communities, nations, cultures, races to join together in support of the greater good, the service to others, as all of us of the family of the light will tell you that it is submitting your will to the service of others, the service of others, not the worshiping of others, not the worshiping of the ascended masters, not the worshiping of other beings of light or other inner realm beings, but the service of others, the love of others, not the worship of El Moira, but the love of the light that he gives in his message. And this word and these individuals who are waking up around the world, and those of you who are listening to this, oh my brothers and sisters, you're starting to wonder, is he talking about me? Am I one of these guys? Oh yes, my brothers and sisters. Do you think you're here by accident? It is paramount to realize that your diligent and noble intentions to free yourselves from mental bondage have been in favor of the greater good, for you carry the vibration of the word with you at all times. The arduous process of disbanding from the heaviness of the distortion fields that permeate the collective consciousness was your gift to this planet and her people. And now you step forth as examples to herald a new way. This is a glad tidings, oh my brothers and sisters. If you have been on this journey with me, then you are the people who now will begin to express yourselves. And people are ready to feel that love, and they will understand your truth and see its beauty. Beloved members of the first ray, he talked about the distortion fields, those who are dark, who are trying to manipulate you, those who are diminishing your frequency, those who are shutting off all the lights everywhere we went, causing you to fear and hate, causing you to be afraid, ooh, be very afraid. What were you supposed to be the most afraid of? Do you guys remember? Oh yeah, be afraid of Muslims. Be afraid of us Care Bears, us fuzzy Care Bears. They made you so afraid of us. Beloved members of the first ray, take heed. Your diligence has paid off, and your next steps will fortify the intentions for the highest good of all. Now is the time to bask, to float, to breathe, and to prepare your earthly bodies to anchor into your new vibrational home. We said the disclosure and the ascension is with our bodies to our new place. We said there will be those of us who are seeing something different, those of us in fear and chaos and darkness, and those of us in light who are saying, we are finding a new vibration. We are seeking a new truth. I am feeling this blue, shiny ray that my brother Salim is talking about, and I think it's actually vibrating around me. Whoa, this is tripping me out. Moira goes on to say, the space that you have willfully created for yourselves here on earth is now available to all, but the new physical guides will be the first to enter and dwell here. Many people will go through worse tests of the ascension, right? Many people aren't ready to let go of duality yet. They're still stuck, holding on to this world. Those of us who have gone through the journey and let go of this world and have no attachments to it and have no desires to be leaders. Like I said, I am not claiming to be a prophet. I am not claiming to be your guide. I am not claiming to be your leader. We have no need for any more titles and positions. We're just speaking our truth. We don't want this world of dust anymore. Our souls are vibrating at a new vibration, and we are forming a new home. The physical guides who are here now will be the first to ascend to this new vibrational home. And the rest of those who go through the darkness of the tribulation, those that we of the Christed light would call the left behind, those not enraptured in the light of the church, those not ascended on the sunnah of our Prophet, those who continue to stay in the fitna, those who didn't remember the message of your Prophet. When you see the fitna coming, run away, run away. Change, do whatever you can to get through it. And we will be teaching you exactly how it's done. Al-Moyer goes on to say, you will witness a changing of the guard in your earthly spheres as those leaders of yesterday become increasingly more ill-equipped to handle the challenges of today. Be patient and persistent in your quest for global goodness. Dear angels of blue, here the Ascended Master Al-Moira says, be like the angels of blue. O higher souls of blue, remember your true nature to be like the angels of Michael who speak this truth. For you will have great influence from now on if you are upon this blue ray. We of the blue ray carry each of you in our hearts as the silent warriors of a new earth. Your gifts of communication will fall on deaf ears no longer. You may find that many who have disregarded your teachings in the past suddenly summon your wise counsel. Turn no one away, my brothers and sisters. He warns you. Turn no one away. When someone comes to you asking, give them the truth of your heart. Give them your time. Be patient with them. Turn no one away, for the challenges will be great and will continue to increase in magnitude for all, yet unwilling to surrender to the beauty and sanctity of Mother, of Father, of God. If you have learned the truth of the story and figured out who your mother is and the divine feminine and the nature of the love of the divine feminine and your father and the place of your father and how you got here in your line and how that connects you to the other prophets and fathers, all the way to our father Abraham of the light and our father Adam of the light and the body and the soul, and then to our Lord Most High. Remember, Al-Moira says, your journey's well, bright souls. You leave the mark of compassion and hope for all who are ready to accept it. The blue rays have succeeded in their quest to unlock the gates of heaven, and all who follow in the now worn path will be blessed by the bounty of their lighted creations. Expect the unexpected on behalf of the interdimensional cosmic council of light. We bid you farewell, blessings, and good tidings. This is a transmission with due respect and gratitude, and we say with all love to my sister here, one who is transmitting this truth, Lauren Cargo, and you can find many of her other messages. Now we give props where props are due to those light workers who are in the path. Her website is called thinkwithyourheart.net. I repeat, thinkwithyourheart.net, and I should have it scrolling right there on the bottom because I always give credit where credit is due. There are beings of light. Now let's think about that message. Wow, that's a doozy of a message. What we are saying is that there are now, here on this earth, from every race and every culture and every tongue, those who know the truth of their people, who followed the wisdom of their ancestors, who are masters of the blue ray. They are speaking the word and they are telling you. You will recognize them because they share the same message. It is a message from the heart. They remind you that there is only one God. They tell you of the beauty of the angels. They warn you of the dark and the others. They remind you of the blue beauties of the inner and higher realms. They teach you of the ascended masters and prophets who love the Lord. They teach you of the holiness of the spoken word. And they remind you of the afterlife for those of light and oneness, and warn you of the dark, of the deception for those who reject, of never-ending torment. And they remind you of the pattern of the divine will of your Lord Most High, and those who are masters of the blue ray, who are here amongst you now, are those who you should be seeking out from this earth, who are destined to teach you the truth and give you the message. And oh, my brothers and sisters, if you are hearing this message, then I've got news for you. I just activated you. And you can feel the vibration running through you right now, because I have taught you so much of the things that you love that when someone tells it to you again, even from a totally weird channeling source, you say, this weird channeling through my lovely, beautiful sister Lauren sounds exactly like everything my brother Salim has been teaching me that we call Islam. How could it be that this message and that message leads to oneness? It is because there is only one family of light. There is only one white brotherhood, and all of the brothers and sisters of all of the realms and all of the earths and all of the dimensions, and all of us here are telling you, now is the time for you to step out into the open. Now is not about the disclosure of others to this world. Now is the time for you to disclose the truth of your heart to the world. Now is the time for you to disclose who you are. Now is the time for you to speak about what it is you're supposed to do. Now is the time for you to remember the deepness of your heart, that it is not random. It is not coincidence that you are here. It is something that you were sent to do, and there is a reason. And the story that I tell you is just to remind you. Now, I started with something weird because we're going to go into all kinds of weird, wild subjects from now on the hotconflict.com website. We're going to talk about concepts from the dark and the light. And I tell you things about the dark, and I tell you things about the light, and then I tell you things about the dark, and I warn you of the trials, and I warn you of the tribulations, and I scare you, and then I show you the light, until you get to the point where you no longer see dark. You only see light, because so much of the dark gets exposed that by the time I explain everything to you, you look back on the dark and you sit like me now and you laugh. And you say, oh my God, oh, those of you souls who are in the dark, from this earth, oh, sons of Adam, no matter what bloodline you have, no matter which way you got here, the times have changed and everything is different now. This is not the same world that it used to be in. And so, of course, you, the family of light, have been waiting. But the last time I talked to you about disclosures, I said that the time for disclosures has come. The time of disclosures has come. We talked about those souls who are going to continuously reject the truth of the light. My name is Salim. You can feel the vibration from my name. If I am a master of the blue ray, and I am teaching you the divine will of the Lord and expressing it to you out of truth. I am the son of Shamshad. For those of you who don't know and ask, is this person some stranger who has come from nowhere? I am from the family of Siddiq. I was born on this earth. I grew up here, went to school, had a childhood, went to high school, had senioritis. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm from here. I'm not from anywhere else. Now, for those who are Muslims and are wondering, is this some new Muslim who's never been known? Or is this someone known in the Western world who's dhu nasab, of lineage. I am known and not an outsider to the Islamic Society of North America through my father and all their leadership. I am known to the Islamic Circle of North America and all their leadership. I am known to the Muslim Brotherhood and all their leadership. I am not an outsider. I have been speaking the word and giving the sermon and teaching Islam in the United States and Canada for the last 15 years, giving the sermon. I am not someone who has come from nowhere. I am known amongst the leadership, amongst the Muslims. But today, I am talking about a different message. Now we are talking about a message to the lightworker community, the spiritual community, the disclosure community who are waiting for announcements. Are you waiting for a being from another planet to come to the earth and tell you he is a Vulcan or a Klingon? I am telling you that I am from this earth, and I am giving you the word of the plan of your Lord. And the meaning of that is deep. And know that it is from this earth, my brothers and sisters, that masters will be raised. And oh, my brothers and sisters out of love who listen to me, you're being activated. It might not be this moment. It might not be tomorrow. It'll be as soon as you're ready that something will happen and the synchronicity will occur. And you will laugh or you will cry and you remember how we got here on this journey. And that moment of realization will come to you and you will know exactly what to say and you will know exactly where you need to be and you will know exactly what you need to do. And at that moment, you will be so pure in your heart and so true of your focus that the Lord Most High in the higher realms will begin to look at you and smile. And you will begin to talk to yourself and talk to your higher self, and you will think about thoughts and you will have intentions and concepts that go through your mind, and then you will realize that the synchronicities of life come into effect, and then you will ask yourself whether you manifested that, and then you'll think about God, and then you'll remember that God is the one who gave you everything, and nothing that you did, and none of the worship that you did, and none of the prayers that you made, and none of the meditation that you did, and none of the stories that you listened to, and nothing that I even told you, other than the mercy of the Lord. And at some point in your life, looking up and saying, I seek the light. Oh Lord, just open my heart. And in those moments, the truth was told to you. The secrets were revealed to you. When that happens, when you look up like that, Allah, He smiles and He looks down and He says, look at my beautiful creation, the sons of Adam, those who were put in duality and sent into darkness. He's remembering me. He remembers me. And your Lord who created you is so happy and overjoyed that you even remembered Him a little, that He starts to get happy. Your Lord Most High, happy watching you. He's happy watching you. The angels start to notice. They start to notice, and the angels start to gather, and the angels start to say, hey, Allah's happy about something. And Jibreel and Mikael and the other angels, they tell the other angels, and they say, hey, something's going on, man. Something really cool is happening. Light's happening or something. The angels start to gather. Somebody go check out what's going on. I think somebody's waking up. Allah's smiling about something. And the angels start to gather, and they come to the earth, and they come into your house right now, my brothers and sisters. And they're looking at you, and they're saying, oh, these guys are crying. These guys are waking up. Oh, man, angels are descending from the light, from the highest level of the heavens. They're descending all around you. Angels of the blue ray from Michael's legions. They're descending all around you now. And they're saying, oh, my God, it's true. Allah's smiling. It's happening right now. They're waking up, my brothers and sisters. They're waking up. They're waking up. But we said today is about disclosure. Today is about disclosure, and we're going to go through many of the stories that got us to the densest part of our reality, that got us to the darkness of where we are now. But before we go on, of course, we got to get through some of the warnings. I always give you weird, wild stuff, and because I always tell you stuff straight here, and it always does come here before anywhere else, and the reason why it does is because the pattern is revealed to those who understand the truth of the word and those who recognize who were all of the masters of light sent to be the bearers and way showers of the word to this world. You must understand the pattern from Adam all the way down to the Prophet Muhammed, including every messenger of the light who shine their divine truth in their own unique way. But because we said what? That this level is a level where people are now going to awaken, where people are now going to understand. It is because of this that I am telling you that those who you have been afraid of, the Muslims, are masters of the word. They are followers of the master of light, the Prophet Muhammad. And once they begin to wake up, they'll realize that they have been trained in duality, to use nothing but the word of your Lord and the statements and life of the master as their guide. They use no other outside sources to reflect anything, and they will be masters of the blue ray upon the ascension and waking up. Every single individual one of them has been trained to be a master of the blue ray, and upon waking up, they will all have the ability to speak the word. And it is this reason why the dark has done as much as it can to keep the Muslim world in such dire straits, and to do as much as it can to make the Western world afraid of the underpoverished, uneducated, economically and physically disturbed nations that you call the Muslim world. And somehow the Western world has believed that they should be scared of 1 billion plus Muslims. It's really kind of foolish. Who are these people? Is this the majority of the souls, or are there actual beings of dark who have aligned themselves with the dark? Are there those who have actually thought that some physical blood in the physical duality will save them? This will never be the case. It is not my job to threaten or condemn or condone, but it is my job to disclose some very simple truths. My name is Salim. I am a member of the family of light. I am from the Brotherhood of Light. I am a master of the blue ray, if it isn't obvious yet. I am a master of the Blue Lodge. O mankind, hear the words spoken in the English language to the Western tongue for the first time. I am a master of the Blue Lodge, raised as a master in duality here on this earth, a master of the Blue Lodge from within the inner earth, and a master of the Blue Lodge from above. And it is with authority that I disclose and say to all those of the dark, from every royal family and nation and kingdom and government and leader and bank and institution, who has remained upon the dark, who has continued to cause the wars and the destruction and the false flag scenarios, and who have recently caused such utter destruction on the earth, killing souls as a method of retribution, of letting go of your position, that I am telling you plainly and openly, on behalf of the Brotherhood of Light and the family of light, it is declared as a disclosure to this earth, to this realm, that the masters of light are here in physicality now. And the dark cabal and all of you who know who you are being ordered and commanded and demanded to cease and desist and stop what you are doing. And it is with authority by the word, as a master of the blue ray, on behalf of the Ummah of Muhammad, the people of Muhammad, that I am giving you the word of the Lord Most High and the sunnah of our messenger, that I am saying, Salim Siddiqui, a master of the blue ray, a master of the light, from the family of light, I am giving you my word on this earth. All those from the families of the dark Cabal, you will not be harmed. I am giving you my word and testifying by the Lord Most High in front of the angels of light and all the ascended masters. Those of you who cease and desist and lead yourselves to the light and stop the dastardly deeds that you are doing, I am giving you my word, you will not be harmed. We do not seek retribution. We seek a resolution to this conflict. And we seek it without bloodshed, without chaos, without calamity, and without destruction. If you continue to persist in what you are currently doing, you will bring about destruction and calamity upon yourselves. You have my word on behalf of the family of light that those who step forward now, those who make themselves known now, those who give up their evil ways now, those who give up the stranglehold they have had now, there is no sin, there is no crime, there is no deed that is beyond redemption, that is beyond forgiveness. And the word has been given that if you seek the light, you will be welcomed. On the authority of the Blue Lodge, as a master of the blue ray, I am giving out the announcement to all brethren of every lodge upon this earth. The word is now given that the dark is no longer in charge of any of the lodges of this earth. Those of you who have been masters of the lodges, no matter what degree you thought you had, a master of the light has now given you the disclosure and the word. Seek the light, my brothers and sisters. Seek the light. There will be no retribution. There will be no animosity for those who step forward now, for those who take the lead, for those because of their positions of power and authority and wealth and status have been blessed by the Lord Most High, who have been given more than just the word. Use that which you have been given for the service of others. Disclose yourselves. Step out into the light before the circumstances force you out. There will be no retribution. There will be no more bloodshed. There will be no more attacks. We have no ill will against you, my brothers and sisters. We tell you to come forward. Seek the light. Now, that being said, that is the disclosure for today and the warning to those families who know who they are. To all those of you who are of the light and of the spiritual realm who have been waiting for disclosures like this is how it happens. And so what I've been trying to tell you is that each of you now is supposed to remember who you are and that you are here at this time of all times, from the beginning of the creation of Adam till now. Somehow you are here now and you think that that is random? No. You are supposed to express yourself. You are supposed to tell the people. You are supposed to do it openly. And I am going to continue to disclose the truth of every secret society and every banking family and everything that has gone on from the time of the Prophet Muhammed until today's day and age, until all of the truth is made open and clear. So mote it be, my brethren. The word has been given and the order has been stated. And the disclosure is beginning now with everyone. All of you who are of the light, begin. All of you who have been assigned duties, step out into the light. All of you who have been assigned the word, step forward. From every nation and every country and every color and every creed and every tongue. You know who you are. You remembered the truth. Step forward. We will be calling people by name and by group and by organization one by one and reminding them of the truth of their own people. Slowly we'll be doing this as this disclosure goes forward. But now is the time for those of you of the heart, those of you who are masters of the blue ray, to begin to express yourself, to remember that there should be nothing left. This is duality. All of this will end. You are here. Play your role. There is no judgment from anyone. Seek the light and you shall find. Speak the truth. Let it be known. Don't hold anything back. Let your dreams and your fantasies and your wishes be spoken. All that is beautiful, all that is light, all that is shining, let the world know. There is no need to hold back. Let all those who are waiting for disclosure, who are waiting for signs to come, let them step forward. Is it not? Is it too much heat to say you come from another planet, you're a Pleiadian, or you're a Plejoran, or an Andromedan? I am telling everybody I am a master of the blue ray, a master of the blue lodge, from the family of light, a master in the flesh amongst them, telling them the word and saying it to them in open. And I'm telling you that it is from Islam, those who are of the dark and those who are in fear. That is the worst thing anybody can be, and I've already disclosed that. So you who are not Muslims, you should have no fear in disclosing the truth of what you know. You should have no fear in telling everybody your dreams. Why wait? Spill everything you know. Let everything you know out. There is no reason to hold it back. Now is the time of changes, and the world is going to change so quickly and so dramatically that new things that you never imagined are going to happen in front of your very eyes. And what we have been saying for a long time is going to be told to you. Express it. Say it. Just speak it. Don't hesitate. Right? This is what it is. You are here for a reason. Don't shy away from it. Do it in your own unique way. Not my way. I do it my way. You do it your way. Everybody will not be following anybody. Everyone will be speaking their own truth, and it will lead everyone to oneness. Every being of light from every nation and creed is telling you this truth, and in this our hearts are united. So say we all. But because we talked about such scary things right there, and because we gave such stern warnings, of course, being a master of the blue ray, I always like to give you something from pop culture. And especially since we talked about this being the age where those who were previously indigos, a lot of those who were sent as blue rays to express themselves, many of them indigos in the indigo ray to transmute, but now the coming of the beginning of the first ray, the blue ray, the ascended masters of earth, the physical masters of earth, those masters have the ability of speech, of communication, and they can see the word and the light in anything. And one of the things that always troubles the Muslim community is music and song, and they fail to see that in this can be some vibration of darkness and can be some vibration of light. And anybody who is a master of the blue ray can recognize the beauty of the blue ray in the spoken word. And so I always like to give you pop culture stuff, and so we're going to end with a song. But before I get into that, I got to remind you of the basics. You can believe anything you want to believe now. You can go anywhere you want to go. And the world is changing, and that which used to prohibit you will no longer. We're about to take a step off the edge, my brothers. Get ready to fly and get ready to soar. Let your hearts go wild and express yourself. Reflect your true life. Don't let anyone hold you down. Be patient with others. They might not understand you. They might think you're insane. Know how to speak correctly. Search for the right moment. Don't be overbearing, But speak your truth. Tell your truth. Just go out there, right? Your life is a reflection of light. It is a vibration of light. It is a song. It is a melody. It is a harmony. It is an act. You are an actor, speaking of light, living out a lighted life. And you are realizing that everything in your journey got you to here. And one day on your journey, you didn't have to listen. You didn't need to listen. You wouldn't have changed your destiny if you did or didn't listen to me, right? But just because you did, you end up having some fun. And what are you supposed to do now? Realize that that truth is within you and go out and use it. And this new generation, this new speaking of light, has been reflected in many of the Western world and the emo world, the emotional indigos. And because of that, I got to give it to you. If I'm a master of the Blu-ray, you got to have the sing-song nature of even any songs. So just go out there and express yourself. Do it. Speak your truth and just sing your life. Sing your life. Sing your life. Any fool can think of words that rhyme. Many others do. Why don't you? Do you want to? Oh, sing your life. Just walk right up to the microphone and name all the things that you love, all the things that you don't love. Oh, sing your life, sing your life. You see, you have to just be ready to go and take a chance. Express yourself. Sing your life. Be willing to let it go. Because the times have changed. Others sang your life, but now is your chance to shine and have the pleasure of singing what you mean, and have the pleasure of meaning what you sing. Oh, make no mistake, my friend, all of this will end, so sing it now. All the things that you love, all the things that you loathe, sing your life. Sing your life. And that's what the rest of this series is going to be, my brothers and sisters. Me talking about all the things that I love, all the things that I don't love, and you listening to me and you learning about what got us through this journey. Because it is important for those of us who understand and see to take what we know of the light and not leave it. Not to leave the path. Not to just sit at home and ignore the ascension. Take what you know and spread it. Let it shine. La 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 la, right? Sing your life. Don't leave it all unsaid. Somewhere in the wasteland of your head. Oh, head, oh. Make no mistake, my friend, your pointless life will end. But before you go, can you look at the truth? You have a lovely singing voice, and all of those who sing on key, they stole the notion from you and me. So sing your life, sing your life, oh sing, sing your life. There's a peace out to my brother Morsi and all those who understand the vibration of the song. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Salim. Peace. La 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 la, sing your life. La 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 la.